Welcome, I'm Chris McKean.
Hi, I'm Paul Sirk.
And I'm Brock Kiner.
And we're all about cross-country racing. And generally it starts with 10 seconds.
But not here in Iowa.
Starts with hands-on helmets.
Wow.
That was close.
Yeah, close.
It was close. It was good enough, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Somebody is working late. This is excuse and isn't home. So, you know, when he can't make it to do something, it falls on the three of us. So, thanks for joining me.
No problem.
Well, glad to be here. How about you, Brock?
Yeah, first time for everything, right?
All right, there he is.
First timer.
Yeah.
Newbie. Brock's not exactly a newbie for the whole race thing. Brock, you know, we have a moment for people that don't know your background. You want to tell us a little bit there?
Yeah, I started obviously with Dad doing the series. I started when I was 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. I don't really remember. 4?
4.
Oh boy. And raced for 13-ish years straight. And then got out of it to pursue a baseball career in college, and that didn't work out. So now I'm a track worker. So
extraordinaire.
Straight to the point there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I don't know if enough people appreciate what Brock does as far as being a track worker. That, you know, let's not underscore that.
No.
Brock, you know, he's on Kiner time. He shows up late. You know, he's not there till race day. But Brock has a special job. You know, if you look at Brock and you look at the miles put on during a race, I don't know that you probably don't rack up as many miles as every racer. He runs a track. He's wore out a couple machines now. He's out there taking care and making sure you guys are all of us are in good shape, and running the laps and you cannot underscore what he's doing right now. Just a track worker is not right there. An ex-racer, a former champion, I believe, maybe
a few.
Yeah, a multiple time perhaps.
A few of them, yeah.
Brock's got skills. So
also last year, he filled in, took over the lead role.
Not very many
people get to drop that 10-second board. So.
No, look at that. You know,
not a lot of people say 10 seconds or hands-on helmets to the side-by-sides either. So
but it's a good thing. Yeah, and nobody has to worry about that this year, and that is.
Yeah,
I don't know. So at some point, well, I guess since you brought that up, I think it's something that I just thought of a second ago. Before we bring on our Jason Mickelson Century 21 guest for the evening, a racer profile, we probably need to readdress real quick in case anybody missed any of the announcements with the side-by-sides. Chris, can you give us what the latest is and where we're at on that?
I believe that Andy went on Facebook Live on Saturday. Did a video. What I would do is, if you're interested, go out there to our Facebook group and hear it straight from the man. Just, won't do it justice by me just quickly, stating the facts that unfortunately it's just not going to work out this year with what is thrown at us at the last second, that we can race utilities, or excuse me, side by sides.
Correct. Yeah.
I think he's still looking, as the last I heard, still trying to scramble, maybe for the Heartland. I believe I did hear maybe State Fair. I don't want to speak out of place, but I don't think State Fair was going to work out with side by sides as well. Just the timing, insurance isn't going to work out.
Right.
So
right. Yeah. We hate to lose all of our friends there. Everybody kind of knows that I'm a lazy track worker, and it's easier for me to build and all the history there with the machines getting bigger and all this and that. But that all set aside, sure like the people. We truly missed them at the first race. All the side by side people, and and he worked. I got to give him credit. They worked and tried with all the insurance stuff and different things that we were dealt a kind of a blow at the last second on this whole thing. And unfortunately, I believe that for this season, the side by sides are no go. In case anybody didn't hear it, go back and look at the video and find the video on Andy there.
Yep.
Talking about that. Chris,
yeah,
I hate to move away from that so quickly, but I believe we have a guest coming on here.
we do. And I just want to say to the side by side guys that yes, we tried everything, and I'll miss y'all. Yeah, it's kind of sad, it's like a part of a family. Wasn't there last week or 2 weekends ago, and coming up here at Fort Dodge, we'll talk about later on. Just seems like you're missing part of the family. So, in our thoughts, hopefully they go, and heck, if we're close to a race, just come on out. Andy will give you a 4-wheeler to ride around the track and help the track crew, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just hopefully we can get something worked out for next year. So yeah, a new, I guess a segment that Andy drummed up, the Jackson Mickelson Racer Spotlight. So our first guest that we have joining is Braxton Rhodes. So we can go ahead and bring him on. Thanks, Braxton, for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for the invite.
So Spotlight, I know that Andy was talking with you, and unfortunately he couldn't be available tonight. I know he's listening. He's always paying attention to what we're doing, making sure we're on our P's and Q's here, so we won't make any short jokes. So Braxton, tell us a little bit about yourself. What you've kind of come across our series. You've raced a couple times from the information I have with us before, right?
Give me a start.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, well, I grew up farming all of my life mostly. Then around like 12 years old, started getting into 4-wheelers and stuff. Then I've just been racing TT flat track. Then recently I just jumped into the woods to help improve my stamina on the track. But yeah.
So I heard briefly talking with Andy today, you race about every weekend this year except for 6 weekends, right? You have 6 weekends?
Yes, 4 to 6 weekends or something like that. I'm like off for the summer.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So pretty busy.
Oh yeah, we're busy.
So where's home for you?
Okay, well, I live in a little town located in West Central Illinois named Bushnell. You'll probably never drive through it, and there ain't no interstates near us. But yeah, it's very small town in West Central Illinois.
So you mentioned you race all sorts of different types of tracks. What was your first quad?
Ooh. I think if I can remember, it was a little Yamaha 90. like I don't know exactly what year it was, or I never thought about that, but I remember it being like a Yamaha, little Yamaha 4-wheeler.
Gotcha.
What
So
are you
you
racing
joined-
now?
What's up?
What type of machine do you have going now?
Well, for the woods, I race a TRX 450, a
Good choice.
Honda. Then, and on flat track, I race a CRF 450, like dirt bike motor into a TRX 450 frame. It's like a hybrid, yeah.
Right.
Do you have maybe a Honda 90 sitting around?
What's up?
Do you have a little Honda 90 sitting around?
Two of them in the garage.
Are you going to be at the race this weekend?
Yes, I will be at the race.
Well, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but we have Adult 90 miniseries also sponsored by Jason Mickelson Century 21. And with the track rework at Fort Dodge, there used to be a motocross track inside of the stock car track. It's been switched out to a TT track. So our event we'll talk a little bit about later tonight will be a TT race for our Adult 90 series. So might want to throw that in the trailer and give her a shot.
Maybe, possibly.
We'll race that right before we do the adults session. So
Braxton, how did you get started into racing?
Well, one of my dad's buddies races flat track, like what I do now. So, like 5 years ago, he invited me to go down to Belleville, Illinois, down by St. Louis, to go to a race with him and help him, like as a pit crew or whatever. And right after that race, I think right after that race, my dad ended up buying me a 450 because, like, I don't know, I just really wanted to race after that. I just felt hooked onto that. Then the next year after that, I just started racing all over the United States.
well,
Oh, is it my idea to or my time to ask him some
Sure.
questions on that? Well, I guess you mentioned the adult 90. I got to ask you how old you are, Braxton.
I am 18 years old.
Okay. So at 18, you've had what do you think? You got about 10, 9, 7, 8 years of race experience now?
Well, my mom wants me to be done at ASAP, but that ain't. So I think honestly, I probably have 5 to 10 years left. At least.
No. I was talking about experience. Now we're up in the plus 50 class, and you're welcome to join us when you get up there.
I got a little ways to go to get there.
Excellent. But what do you think? Now you said you only had a few weekends off all summer long, so it's mostly TTs that you're running, and
Yes.
are you going to join us on a lot of them, or are you trying the whole series this year?
Well, we're planning on racing the whole Iowa series this series. Then I got for flat track and TT, I got 2 national series I have to run, like a MWDT and the New East Extreme Dirt Track.
Okay. So you got some window time in front of you there too.
Oh yeah.
Where's the East Coast take you go, or how far out the East Coast series go?
There's one all the way on the east side of Tennessee. That's like the farthest one, I think, from us. There's a few in Ohio, like the east side of Ohio too, but those are like 8-9 hours away. They're all on that series. They're like 9 to 10 hours away.
Right.
So not too far over there, but they're over there.
Yeah. What do you got, Brock?
yeah.
What's the best advice anyone's ever given you, Braxton?
All right. So my dad's friend Ryan Kaufman, he gave me this advice one time after my first ever race. Whenever like you fall back in the pack, do not give up because you don't know what will happen in the next turn.
Good
That's probably the
advice.
best advice I got for racing.
Yep.
That's true. Very true.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. Especially for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think on the transition between TT and 2 hours? how's all that working out for you?
To like flat track, like that time
Flat
limit of
track
racing?
versus hare scramble.
Okay, so well, it's a big difference. Man, well, first off, flat track, it's like you're just going over jumps and it's pretty smooth, not rocky, no roots or anything you're hitting. Then once you get in the hare scrambles, you're bouncing all over forward, they're about to fall off everything like every second. Then I mean, man, you gotta conserve your energy in hare scrambles. You could waste all your energy off the rip on flat track. So there's many ways to look at it. But yeah,
Do you
there's
go
big
off of do you go off of laps or do you go off of time for TT?
for TT, we go off laps. For like the mains, it's like 8 to 10 laps. Matters on the series.
Gotcha. Speaking of tracks, what's your favorite track of all time?
Like, can it be for TT or anything?
Anything you want.
Oh, there's this track in Ohio, Ashtabula, Ohio. It's called Pine Lake Raceway. That's probably my favorite track. There's a lot of quads that go there too.
Three wheelers also I've heard.
Oh yeah, a lot of three wheelers too.
So, what are you going to do with your 6 free weekends outside of racing this year? You like to fish, like to hunt?
I do like to fish. I'd probably either be working on the farm or fishing or hanging out with friends.
Gotcha.
Well, we have a long list of interesting questions. But so, if you had a bucket list at 18 years old,
Oof.
what would your bucket list be? Some of the things on there. I don't need 10 things. Give me 2 or 3.
Honestly, I've never been skydiving before. I always see like TikToks and stuff on that, like them landing in a desert. I kind of want to do that. I don't know. That's pretty high up there though. So, but if it wasn't for that, honestly, I never really thought of it. So I couldn't tell you.
I should have asked this earlier, but when you were the first round you raced with us, what class were you in?
I was in the first year class.
Okay, how'd that go?
It went pretty well for it being the first race of the year. I mean, I was wore out probably first lap in, but that's what happens at every first race of the year. You're not in shape.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but yes, 100% agree with you. Yes, we're never ready. Brock? Were you ready?
I was ready as I could be.
I'm going to pick his brain. So, first race, how many races did you race with the series previously?
I remember racing 2 last year.
Okay,
The Iowa
so
series.
how does our series compared to TT racing as far as like the racer aspect, kind of the pits, people open, knowledgeable? How's the family atmosphere of our series compared to others?
One thing that's similar to each other is everyone's willing to help each other at both pits or anything at both series. I mean, but a few differences is at the national TT series I race at, we race 2 days instead of just one.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have like practice Friday night, then Saturday, Sunday they'll race both days on there. But like, I don't know, the atmosphere in the pits matters. Honestly, it matters what race you go to. Like if like at Pine Lake, Ohio or whatever, they got a lot of it's like the Daytona 500 of quads racing there. So there's like a lot going on in the pits. But at like a normal TT race, there ain't too much going on in the pits, but it's pretty laid back and chill. But there's some people getting drunk on Saturday night. It's fun to watch.
All right. Well, good. So, yeah, third place finish. in the series for the first race. So yeah, sitting pretty good. Got on top of the box. How did it make you feel? Getting on the podium, first race of the year, getting to talk to the short man. I mean, Andy.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting to get on the box for it to be in the first year race of the year. I was not ready to I was not expecting that. So it was pretty exciting to get third place, but hopefully we'll see more this year.
Gotcha.
What track did you race last year with us?
Ooh, I think we went to Murray and Weldon, I think.
Those are two good ones.
Yeah, like
Good
the last 2 races of the year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what'd you think of the train difference between those races you did last year and this first race at Trenton?
Like, what do you mean?
Well, I know one thing: the rocks for sure.
Yeah, the rocks played a big deal.
And the creek crossings were a little more rocky this versus like Weldon.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you
Well-
feel that a little more the next day?
Oh yeah, I definitely felt those big rocks in that long creek crossing there, and I was really sore after that day. But comparing those to Weldon and Murray, Trenton also had a lot of rocks, and like you just said, and yeah, I felt less beat up after Weldon and Murray.
Nice. All right. Well, we won't keep you long here. We thank you for joining us and coming on and sharing your knowledge and information. We'll wrap it up with one question. Just remember, I've got my finger on the disconnect button here. But what was the last podcast that you listened to?
It was this one. It was the Hands on Helmets podcast.
Good. Well, thanks, Braxton.
Of course. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you on that first year row. Anybody listening to him, just go up and introduce yourself. It's always nice to give the newcomers, any information we can share. Number 234, right?
Did you get the whole shot?
Yes, I ended up getting the whole shot.
I remembered writing your number down.
Yeah, so good. All right. Well, thanks, Braxton.
Thank you very much for inviting me on the show.
Yep. Oh, good guest.
Yeah.
Just try to do that spotlight, a little spotlight here and there, trying to get more, some more guests on as well, kind of different perspectives. Call it the hot seat. But we can't thank Jason Mickelson, Century 21, for being on board this year with the series as a sponsor. So,
yes, and in case some new people don't know, Jason and his wife Angela, they were longtime racers with us, and they've come back and helped us out with the sponsorship on this on the spotlight here as well as sponsoring the 90 adult 90 class too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun to see the race family coming back to us there.
Yep. So yeah, speaking of race family, you just kind of want to do a quick recap. We can't thank Vanderpool Construction again for sponsoring. Oh, got the shirt.
Point to point. It's camera.
Other side.
Yeah, I keep going there.
Your right side.
See there? There it is. About there. Yes.
So can't thank Vanderpool Construction for sponsoring round one. Bringing out the machinery for the kids.
Yeah. The dump truck there. How often we get to see a dump truck? Well, once in a while, but it's very rare, isn't it? Yeah. They brought that down to Trenton.
So we kind of did last week, did a recap. We did some shout outs. Just kind of want to throw it out there one more time before we move on to Fort Dodge round two. What were you guys' perspectives of how round one went?
I'll let you go ahead first, Brock.
I thought it went pretty well. The weather, it was a little dusty here and there, but other than that, I think everything for the first round. I mean, we had a few flaws here and there with the scoring side, but I think everything went pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take that. You know, first race of the year, we're gonna have our hiccups.
Oh,
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
and all those are just little things.
Yep.
Chris has been doing this for a long time, and we didn't have him back there, we probably would have been dead on the water on scoring there.
Yeah.
He managed to scrape everything with the little problems that nobody knows behind the scenes of computers and printers going down on him, and he was able to overcome all that, and we appreciate what he does there.
Yep. So we pursued. So yeah. Thanks for pointing that out, Brock.
Anytime.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
I'll give you a little recap on my perspective of this first race, and in case nobody knows my background, I've been doing this for quite a while, even longer than Brock, who didn't remember how old he was. And a fun little story with Brock. We had, I know I'm going to drag on because we got to stretch this out like Andy would, but Brock was too young to race to begin with. His brother was 4, and then when Brock turned 4, he took over the Polaris, and we started the season off at the farm. It was an MX track, and that particular time they had a special little day before thing where we could do some motocross kind of stuff. Brock was doing this little practice 50s track thing, and Brock came back afterwards, and he was talking about how he was going to send it over this double, but he held back a little bit, and it was I remember Andy and I just looking at each other and smiling, because there's, you know, we know the Polaris 50 is not going to send the double, that it was really much of a double and all that. But I've got a million stories to tell about Brock, but we're here now to go back and talk about what I thought of the first race and about the results and things like that. I'll tell you, we pulled into Trenton there. I got a wild hair, decided to go down early, and so I'm sitting at the gate, first one there, waiting. We were on counter time already. Just saying. Then, so we got started on the track on Thursday morning. Everything's looking really good. It was a pretty easy track for us to do. It's just that you forget sometimes what a kind of a neat place it really is. I tell a lot of people, and I'll stick with this. For anybody that raced that race, you had one of the toughest tracks we're going to have all year, for terrain and rocks and things like that. Some of this will get a little easier afterwards. So if you struggled with that, don't give up on us. I'd love to make it a mid-season track, but unfortunately they have a snake issue down there, and we're not going down there in the middle of summer. Just not going to happen. But you know, it was a little cool when we started out race day, which worked out good. Thursday morning, was that Thursday? Somewhere in there, we had a little bit of rain, but not much. We could see. I thought overall the dust wasn't too bad. You shoot out after pits, head south. It was a little bit dusty there. After that, the dust was pretty well contained. In some of the opens, we get a little dust on that, but it was what, 5.3 miles, I think. I believe is what the track was.
Adult was 5 point. I had 5.5. Yeah,
that's what I got when I put out mile markers.
Yeah, it was 5.3, but not gonna argue, but yeah. No, so that being said, I was kind of disappointed how fast Double A came up onto me. You know, those guys were cooking. I that's one thing I want to throw out is what a fun year I think it's going to be to see our Double A class, what they're going to do this year. Those kids, call them all kids. They were smoking. They were moving right along. Made me nervous once in a while here and there how fast they were coming up on stuff. But all said and done, I think it still was a pretty neat track, and I think everybody did pretty good. And I didn't hear of a lot of injuries and things like that. We're going to have a few once in a while where we maybe start the season off over our heads just a little bit. But I think it all turned out pretty good. And I got to give a shout out again to the kids. Boy, what a great group of kids we've got out there, and those little tykes and bigger kids too. Man, they did some stuff and got done with the big kids. We'll call them. They went first, and I started seeing this line that they were taking out of this creek, and I never had any intention of even thinking about that line personally. Those kids were taking this, you know, and they're starting the season off this way. So I think we're gonna. I don't know. I kind of want to pat ourselves on the back for this, for how good these kids are, and how well they've been trained over all the years. Mom and dads and everybody else that helps them out gets a little pat too. But we've given them tracks that I believe are something they can do, but yet challenges them a little bit. And they showed up and performed. And I know there was, you know, the usual here or there, a few things breaking down and some challenges this way and that, and coaxing a couple of them that were a little scared here and there to believe in themselves. But hopefully they'll be back, and we'll have those numbers here at Fort Dodge when it comes up.
Yep.
Gonna say, since I was first guy in, I also locked the gate on the way out, and that got a little dicey. It started raining there Sunday morning pretty early, and I had to wait and pull Joe Mueller out, so had to make sure he got going. Didn't have anything to do with me being stuck too, but we all got out, and at the end of the day, I think we had a good, successful race. Work through any little bugs or anything, you know, scoring wise, track crew wise, or anything like that. We're always looking to improve, but hopefully everybody gives us a chance and comes back to Fort Dodge, and we'll see you there.
Yep.
That'd be a good way to end this podcast, and we could be done in like 37 minutes. But I do believe you have some more to talk about, correct?
I got quite the list over here to talk about. I'm gonna feel like Andy by the time the night's over with.
Oh, okay.
So a couple things we didn't have time last podcast, but I've got it scrolling across the bottom. The Ty Lube Top Gun Awards for round one. Double A, Ty Jones, first year. Hunter McAtee. Sorry if I slaughtered the name. 50 stock. We have Ace Sommerfeld and 90 production, Riker Burks. So can't thank Ty Lube enough. These were the first four Ty Lube Top Gun Award winners. Ty Lubes will pick classes every round and award the winners with a Ty Lube gift certificate that can be used there at the track if need be, as well as a certificate, I believe, to turn in for the year-end Ty Lube Top Gun Award winner. So if you do want to race and it's picked for Top Gun, be sure to turn in that certificate at the end of the year to qualify you for the year-end award. So thanks, Ty Ty Lube and Chad Bodor for donating the gift certificates to everybody. All right. So I think I've kind of gone through the necessities for round one. We can move on to round two. Seems like it's just last weekend we were racing. We're going to turn around here and
You can see that or not? Huh?
oh,
Does it show or not? I can't.
yep, perfect timing. So round two, Fort Dodge, Bathtub Hill will be sponsored by RJ Power Sports. RJ Power Sports is located right in town. Very fortunate to have them aboard this race. Like I said, they're in town. If anybody needs any last minute parts or gear, you can go and visit them on Friday.
Yeah, or just stop by and thank them.
Yeah.
I guess my little history thing here with this hat is I bought my they have two locations now where we're talking about a Fort Dodge location, but I bought it from my quad from their Ottumwa location. You know, so the history of the company is they've been around the sport for quite a long time, and we want to thank them for sticking around.
Yep.
We've got Bathtub Hill. Brock, why is it called Bathtub Hill?
I believe it's called Bathtub Hills because there's a legendary bathtub at the top of the hill that, I mean, anywhere, as long as we've been racing there, and probably around the time the old 10 hours were there too, or 12 hours, I'm guessing was there too. So probably 20, 30 years probably.
I was thinking about 30.
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah, I couldn't nobody could argue. Nobody probably how the old cast iron bathtub got on top of that hill, nobody probably knows. Somebody dumped it there 30 plus maybe even years ago. But it's been the same location. We used to call it Mineral City Speedway, and we've got we've probably been through 4 to 5 different owners that we've worked with over the years. And I don't know, Brock, what do you think of parking and stuff around at this track that's coming up here, our next one, Bathtub Hill?
I personally think the parking's probably one of the better places here for this track than all of them all year because of the speedway, or the dirt track, I should say. But we're able to hold the Heartland since COVID basically there, so it must be pretty good parking. So
flat ground, perfect parking, and get in and out. I mean, very, very nice facility at Sports Park Raceway.
Yeah,
it's even nice when it rains 6 inches and however long that last Heartland, you can still get out without having to be towed. So
not even the Heartland. What about the race that was supposed to go on last year here?
Yeah, we had to put that back a day.
So
we had quite the downpour on Friday night. I don't know too many people that don't remember the lightning strike if they were at the track. Everybody thought it was right outside of their camper or trailer. And it was quite a lot of rain. Unfortunately, we had to put that one back a day, and that was the right call. By the time we got down to the lower river level and started actually looking at the adult track, it was probably 4 feet underwater. So ups and downs on that. You run right next to the river there. You guys remember playing around down there?
Oh yeah.
Chris, did you ever get a ride down by the river?
Oh yeah, I've been many years ago, but yeah, we've been been down there. So I'm seeing a question. We'll go ahead and just kind of answer it here as kind of see them. Are we going to have flat track racing? The stock cars are taking the night off, so there will be no other racing other than our series next weekend. Not this coming up, but on May 10th. So that was just a question there. Thought I'd hurry up and address it. Yeah, track's going to be awesome. As far as you guys are again going to go up there this weekend, do some track work, last minute prep.
Right. I don't know that. I guess this is one of those things that a lot of it's going to be scoping out. They made some changes up there. They've added a motocross area, practice track type of thing. I guess we got to see it and figure out where we know where it's at, and we got to see what we can do in or out of that, and where it's at, and how that works out with our old existing tracks. But that should be a fun new little addition. And we got to check that out, and the rest of it it should be a kind of the normal Fort Dodge track.
Yep. So another question, just to clarify, Craig, it's just going to be the Hare Scramble series that we're racing. We're not going to do an ATV flat track. If you have a Honda 90 or any type of 90, you can come join the Adult 90 mini series. I believe we're going to do some sort of a TT flat track race as the event there at Fort Dodge.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, Chris. From what I heard, it might be more like a TT without any jumps.
Yep.
I've heard the infield's been turned into a go-kart track, is the way I understood.
Yep.
So
that was my understanding as well.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see how that goes, and know more when we get a hold of the actual track. I guess for some people that haven't raced Fort Dodge, I don't know. I think of it as a track that has you don't notice a lot of elevation change, but overall you have a lot of elevation change. It was formerly a mine, gypsum mine, and so we have lots of levels and this and that's going up. You don't necessarily notice you doing it, but there's some rock in there. On some of the hill climbs this year should be more of a descent on the rocks, the big one. Then you'll get down by the river like we were talking about before, and it's a lot of black dirt down in there versus clay in other areas. It's a good solid track, going to be probably that 5 to 5.5 mile track. Just seems like some reason that time of year, I don't know why it is, but it seems like it's always warm there to me. Brock, you've run around it a lot of times. What do you think?
I personally like Fort Dodge, or liked it when I raced. It's pretty, like you were saying, a little bit of elevation change, not much, nothing too technical. Like there was a few hills at Trenton. There's a little bit of rocks. Most of the time it's pretty dusty, but overall it's a really good hare scramble track for what we can get out of it. So,
yep. And for those that are kind of questioning, the 10 hours is some of the same track. 10 hour will be a longer track with more of the neighbor's land, correct?
Correct. Yeah. For the 10 hour, we're able to go to the neighbors, get some land off a neighbor. I don't know if there's maybe a mile and a half over in the neighbor's place there that we're able to use for the 10 hours.
Yep. Okay. So we kind of already talked a little bit about, just kind of hammer it again. Jason Mickelson is also, not only does he sponsor and help out with the rider spotlights that we just did, and we'll be doing all throughout the year. But he's also putting up $750, I believe, for the adult 90 miniseries that we'll be doing all year long. The event, we believe it's going to be some sort of a TT track race. From what I was briefly able to talk with Andy about, we'll get more clarification on that. But to date, I think only the last race, only 3 people signed up. So if you're interested, you got adult and you got some sort of a 90 sitting around, $75 for the whole year for an opportunity to win up to $750. So
Yes, better get on that.
yeah, it's fun events. We'll cut for all the spectators to watch. It doesn't take out too much, hopefully too much energy. And that's not the point. That most of the adults that are racing are the ones that participate in the mini series, and they're just fun little events that we, like the Weldon MX track, tiny little track, couple laps on that thing, just for entertainment purposes. And that's what the whole intention or purpose behind the mini series.
My favorite of the mini series is the pit stop challenge that we did at Mount Pleasant last year. That was pretty fun to see the different strategies. And then at was it Cahokia? We had the actual woods race for 2 laps, I think.
Yep.
We did the Le Mans style start. That was pretty fun.
Yep. So we're gonna have those 2 same events this year.
Yeah.
We'll have the pit stop.
Those are times when Chris McKean runs the pit stop challenge. He did a great job last year.
Well, it's just perfect spot in front of the old barn there at Mount Pleasant.
Yeah. I'm really proud of you stepping up on that one. With our challenges last year on that, and then I'm not even sure who took care of all that at Cahokia last year. You had to have been involved with that. I don't remember how all that worked.
Well, it was just a 2-lap race. Just kind of score them like we normally would.
And always send them through the kids and stuff. Yeah, I can remember how that all completely worked. I was kind of busy picking one of those guys up, but
Yep. So other little housekeeping, I'll just continue on off my list here. Pre-registration closes next Thursday. So I've just looked. We set quite the record last race. 95 entries signed up to register. So far, I only see 11, so we still have time. If you pre-register, that's all prepaying. We don't have to exchange any money. In this race, if the minor releases are all signed and all the necessary AMA paperwork's all done, it should be a very fast process for everybody to get through. Those that pre-register or prepay, it's called prepay, as we're calling it. If you prepay through the website, you get the priority. Jump basically the line, or there'll be a separate spot. Tracy is all in charge of that to get you processed and get you through registration quicker. So we're trying to implement that, see how it goes. Really testing the waters out. It might be the way to go as far as registration for next year. So.
And I think the pre-registration for the last race really helped out the registration trailer girls themselves, because every time I went by there in between track working and whatnot, it looked like the lines were pretty small and everyone got through pretty quick compared to last year, the previous year, when I saw it was a huge line. So I think that's the key right there, is to pre-register and jump ahead in the line. So
prepay. Those are listening and you didn't fill out the questionnaire between the banquet and the first race, I have went ahead and added you to the pre-entries, so you do not have to fill out a form when you come to the next race. A form will be filled out for everyone that was at the first race to try to help speed up the process. Trying to get make that experience a little better for everyone. So yeah, our push again. If you haven't prepaid, or go ahead and get that done. We still have some time. Shut off will be 5 p.m. next Thursday, which would be the 8th, if I recall. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
You guys got-
Brock, you got anything
What's up?
special for May Day planned? You know that's tomorrow.
what?
All that I know is I'm replacing a fertilizer belt. So if you consider that fun for May Day,
May-
I
What?
don't know.
Also, need to mention here, looking at my list of things to talk about. It was published in the schedule. And also just updated on the website this week. Round 2 is a bonus round. So if you show up, you do get the 10 bonus points towards the end of the year awards. So I think that's pretty much on my list to that we had to go over and talk about. Andy probably has a list as well, or he hasn't
He gets long on those lists.
he hasn't chimed in, so we're doing good.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So yeah. Anything?
Yeah, we sound so boring, don't we?
I mean, it's me. I know.
Yeah.
Also this Friday, if everybody knows Chris Drabel, wish him happy birthday.
Yeah, I see that.
Happy
Well,
birthday.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Made it another one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, not quite yet. It's not Friday, but hopefully he does. And happy birthday, Chris.
Yeah. What else? Anything? What else is? We don't have a bugging Andy set.
No.
So what's bugging Paul and Brock?
Well, we've talked about this, and this. I hate to beat the dead horse here, but I do think that the way the pits were situated and stuff last time, I think the pit riding was I really didn't notice any, and I want to thank everybody for taking care of that. That's really, really, really important for our future to make sure there's no pit riding. So keep up the good work at Fort Dodge. It's going to be a little tougher there. It's flat. It's easy. We're spread out a little more. So leave the machine parked. Have Mom leave the machine parked. Have Junior leave the machine parked and walk on over, or ride your bicycle or something like that. So I just want to say, keep up the good work and make sure we don't have a problem there, please.
Yes,
That's all
Paul.
I got on that.
Good thing. Yeah, that was on my list here that I needed to bring up here from Andy, the pit riding situation, and we're cracking down. We have to crack down. Andy, I think, went into great detail last podcast last week. That we just can't have the pit riding anymore. So, also, not only does Ty Lube do the Top Gun Awards, Ty Lube is present at the racetrack. So Chad did inform me that he will be pumping at 110 at the track. They also have a new Ty fuel available. It's the TF UTV 93. So it's a 93 octane fuel that smells like race gas. So maybe you should pump that in your machine, Paul, and you'll make it.
Well,
You may not look like you're going fast, but you'll smell like it.
Something to open up my sinuses.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
So they have that option to run or to at the track as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you need gas, Chad's got it. We'll have it there at the track. So,
Well,
yeah.
feels like we're watching paint dry. I did that earlier today. So what do you think? And then I get to repaint it because it's the wrong color, but that's all good. It's all good.
Repaint. I know. I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm just not Andy.
Yeah, you're not doing very good, Chris.
He's good for something.
Yep. No short jokes. No
I mean,
Do that.
I got one in,
Yeah, I did. I caught that.
but there's been no Prius jokes, so I'm pretty happy this one.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I'll bring the pamphlet or brochure so that everybody makes sure.
I got one signed.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Funny thing is, Brock, your dad and I went to Knoxville this past weekend, and that invite's out there for anybody. I think the plan is to try to go out again this weekend. But your dad shows up. I challenged him at a little bit of slideways out there.
Oh boy.
Who's boss out there with the go-karts. And he shows up in this little Ford Focus, right? Is that what he's got?
Yeah.
So he makes fun of me having a Prius, which I don't have, but in a normal person getting out of that little Ford Focus, it'd probably look like a Prius, but for him, it's like a monster truck.
Brock, I got to ask you, Brock, have you ever been to Chris's garage?
I have.
Oh, you have been to his garage? So you can verify there's not a Prius in that garage?
There's other little toys in there, but no Prius.
I can confirm that there is no Prius.
Okay.
Sadly.
Because it was stolen?
Yeah, that's what the word around the street is.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
How did the slideways go? Did he spin you out at all?
Oh no. You gotta get out there with us.
Yeah. That's always fun to do before. It's even better after nationals because you get all the people out there wanting to race, and they just saw the sprint cars going around, so they got to do it, and it's pretty fun.
It's fun. Yep.
And there you can actually bump and spin each other out like MB2 up in Grimes. They black flag you if you bump someone. It's like, let's have a little bit of fun here.
Yeah, it was okay. They baby powder goes a long ways on that little track, so
yeah,
you could tell that they put a little baby powder on it before we got there. But there was only a few of us on the track, so it's more entertaining with more people. But
right, did they have the dirt track open by chance?
Nope, they didn't.
No, I knew they were working. That was in progress, but I didn't know. I haven't heard if it's open or not yet. So
I have not. I haven't seen it open for the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I'd certainly try that out.
I remember going out there when we were younger, and they had an RC track there.
Yep.
So,
a couple more questions, Kyle. Just to be clear about pit riding, adults, kids, and everyone. I talked to Andy today. I believe that he said no pit riding for anybody under the age of 18.
Let's just say everyone.
Yeah, for my sake,
special pass, everyone.
Yeah, we know it's a big track, long track, and it's a long ways to get from the start, maybe to scoring. But bicycle's okay. We're just trying to really curb down the pit riding, unless you got approval from Andy ahead of time.
Correct.
Craig has a question about discount for pre-registration. I'll have to look at that, Craig. As far as pre-registration, I don't know if we could do a $5 discount. It's just a prepay with the cost of everything. It's the same as your race. We're just trying to push the prepay. It saves you guys time, and it saves us time at the racetrack. Certainly, we can ask Andy to address that next week, but I was not aware. And when we created the website and everything, entry fees are the same at the track as they are online. So I think that's about it, guys. What you guys got anything else? Brock?
No, Scout's getting a little tired of watching you, so
I think Scout's got something to say.
Yeah.
Scout.
Hey guys, thanks for the podcast. watch you next week.
Yeah, next. Well, actually, there's no podcast next week.
Oh.
If you guys, next week you guys are all at the track, so Andy will do the normal lives from the track.
Wow, that's too early.
Well, it won't be
I
on
guess you're
Wednesday.
right.
He'll
Yeah.
start doing the lives on Thursday. Kind of
Yeah.
gives me a day to do what I need to do here.
Yep. Watch for Joe Mueller appearances. That's all I'm going to say there.
Big Joe.
HR department, any complaints, go to HR. That's Joe Mueller. Yeah, we got it. Yeah. He'll be happy. All right.
You'll be.
All right.
Well, thanks, guys.
Have a good weekend, and see you guys in golly. I'll be there
Week
in
and a half.
yeah. Well, it's less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should go up early, Brock. Just saying. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
We'll see
Bye
ya.
now.